What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law.
How would you assess this evening?
This was a stirring address, in my view. Shorter than his father's speech when he announced the New World Order. Shorter than his father's speech when he announced the New World Order.
It was talked time and time again about a new world order. And this is the best chance to begin to establish the new world order.
Warned his people about the Antichrist, about Dajjal, the false Messiah. And the prophet Noah warned his people. But I say to you something that none have said before me. The Antichrist sees with one eye, his left eye. He's blind in the right eye. It looks like a bulging grape. But your Lord is not one-eyed.
The walls between races and tribes, natives and immigrants, Christians and Muslims and Jews cannot stand. These now are the walls we must tear down.
He will call to a false religion and bring something which resembles paradise and hell. But that which resembles paradise will in fact be hell, and that which resembles hell will in fact be paradise. He is the Dajjal, meaning imposter. The prophet further foretold that this liar would start to conquer the world, country by country, fortress by fortress, region by region, town by town. The one eye is one of the ways to recognize the Dajjal. The one eye is the symbol of the Freemasons. It is part of their beliefs and is taken from ancient Egyptian mythology.
Hell yeah, trying to tell y'all, at this rate, niggas gon' lose. Can't search for water or grow your own food. Tell me what's gon' happen when them stores close. And they ain't gon' open up no more. That's the realest shit. Yeah, you gon' feel that. Hunger's your enemy, but you can't kill that. Nigga, wake up. Don't join the army. Kill your own peoples, but fear Illuminatis. And they ain't even real, or are they? But you wouldn't even know, because you partake. Too dumb, if you start to doubt, they already in your mind and coming out your mouth. It's not a trick, nigga, it's a trap. Survival of the fit is what they aiming at. And niggas ain't fit, nope. Fat as hell, fat in mind, body fat as well. Who use most of drugs? Americans. What's in Afghanistan? Heroin. You think that's by mistake? They can't stop that.
These last days, you better prepare for war. You better prepare for war.
Better prepare, better be ready for whatever. Little me still be getting sturdy in the 11th in the ghetto down in Columbus. I said sluggish man in the pedal. Throwing up the sevens on these player haters. Blast the devil for the war been popping over crude oil. Off in the ghetto, we don't know nothing about it. Cause half of these brothers can't be loyal. Picture me sipping on Hennessy. Remember me? Caught up inside the 23rd century. Give it the best of me. Evidently this is real. Put it on baby feel. Let's do this video grimy quick before I get killed. This is a battlefield. It's how it's going down. And we'll be listening to us soon as I come around. Gotta watch your back and don't be scared, youngster. This is the gangster party. And who me? Izzy the Ducks to call me kamikaze. I won't even speak about Illuminati. Welcome to Babylon, man. I need to speak the time.
Let me try to do it, make it, do it to the heavenly. Won't be no hell for me, just paradise. So what you gon' do, what you gon' do? When the new world order come for you, all you can do, what you can do is recognize the truth, realize these sounds do pertain to you.
What have we done to the world? Look what we've done. What have we done to the world?
Machiavellian is Illuminati, all through your body. The blows like a 12-gauge shot at.
We are slowly being slaughtered, so be prepared for the new world order. Yeah, you could yell out your brain. I tell you right now, you got 3 years to change.
Somebody gave you a choice, and all you do is abuse it. If God gave you a voice, then use it. Just a lullaby for the new world order.
You see, global corporations not only fund and develop large technological and military projects here and abroad, they also own the consumer industry and production, as well as all of the important media. By owning the vast majority of what we hear and see on a daily basis, we have been manipulated on a mass scale as to regards to what we believe and desire, both socially and politically. Edward Bernays, the nephew of world-famous psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud, would study group dynamics and become the father of public relations. He authored the book Propaganda in 1928. In it, he described how to intelligently and consciously manipulate the habits and opinions of the masses within a democratic society. He went on to state that those who harness this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government and are the true ruling power. It is they who pull the wires which control the public mind, who harness old social forces and contrive new ways to bind and guide the world.
The average American is distracted, mindless, worried about minuscule things, celebrities, as if it was their own family members. And this is by design, because the powers that be, who own the media, know how our brains work. They know scientifically how the human mind functions. They know about sociology And they are using the media, and have used the media for decades now, to entertain people with issues that don't really matter. When you have the big news networks covering celebrity issues as if it's the most important thing, it becomes the most important thing. And this is not by accident. This is to keep us out of the way. Because if you're worried about the latest celebrity death or the latest celebrity couple or the celebrity breakup or your sports team having a shot at the Super Bowl or the World Series, there's so much information about those issues that can be discussed that will mesmerize people, and they won't know or care about the real issues that are out there.
Well, I think this is just one more piece of evidence of the degree to which the media, supposedly the watchdogs, has become the gatekeeper of the system.
Mainstream media are, first of all, nearly all of them corporations, nearly all of them now publicly held, part of the whole Wall Street financial system that they're supposed to report about objectively, but they can't. They, right now, in October of 2009, they are celebrating the recovery of the biggest banks in New York and saying that the recession is over. Of course, there are a few problems, like foreclosures are going on, unemployment is rising. All of this is affecting the American people, but it's not affecting the financial elite who also control the media.
Bernays successfully identified the invisible empire which controlled the minds of men. So as the populace is mesmerized and hypnotized by powerful behind-the-scenes forces, as they are distracted by the latest celebrity scandal, the newest cell phone, and their favorite sports team, this network disguises itself, remaining in the shadows. Again, we see people of the highest levels of power involved in the most repulsive and decadent of crimes.
They couldn't care less about the code of conduct that's taught in all major religions about treating others the way that you want to be treated. And then they masquerade, they put this false front on that they're like everybody else, because your average person wants to do right, believes in some sort of a karma, believes in some sort of a divine justice in the universe. And so these people need to put on this front that they're like the average Joe in middle America, that they go to church every once in a while, and that they believe in an afterlife and a divine justice. And so they have to put on this front that they're like everybody else in order to get elected and to be accepted and to not have people look at them suspiciously, because if somebody goes around and openly admits that they were an atheist or that they were of some obscure religion, people aren't going to throw their support behind them as much, and they're not going to trust them as easily.
The reality of this behavior is never revealed to the public, as the media keeps any revelations quiet. Unfortunately, these type of activities continue to this day.
And those people who have been yelling, oh, the UN's going to take over global
Conspiracy
government.
theorists.
They've been crazy, but now they're right.
Although costs at the pump are ready to break the dreaded $20 ceiling.
Still, we got communists! Never been communists!
Across the nation, civil unrest has intensified with the demise of the U.S. dollar.
This is not a retreat, nor are we abandoning our Asian allies.
Under threat of annihilation by the Greater Korean Republic, Japan has surrendered.
Hours after the president ordered a freeze on bank withdrawals.
We don't know where we will get our next meal from.
Korea's annexation continues to spread. Today, the Greater Korean Republic launched their latest communication satellite, claiming it will bring a message of peace to the entire world.
the all-seeing eye, an ancient Egyptian symbol that, today, has found itself on everything from the US dollar bill to countless Hollywood movies. Although the use of this symbol has skyrocketed in modern times, its origin and meaning remain shrouded in obscurity for the vast majority of people who are exposed to it daily. How did this enigmatic symbol come to such widespread use, while its meaning remained a widespread riddle? Where did this symbol come from? What is its meaning? And why is its use rising?
One key area of knowledge that this elite have held all this time is the true nature of the sun. All through this period we're talking about, there have been two levels of knowledge in everything. If you read the religious texts, like the Bible and other religious texts, as an initiate of numerology, of the Illuminati codes, etc., you read the text in a certain way and you see what it's really symbolically saying. If you're not initiated into that knowledge, and most people aren't obviously, you read the same text and you are encouraged to take the symbolic literally. So, the same piece of text can be a means of passing on knowledge through initiates and creating prison religions and prison histories for the masses. And in the ancient world, the sun was the same, it still is today. The mass of the people focused on the sun because of its obvious effect on their daily lives, their crops, their lives, heat, warmth, light. But at that level of initiation, which had been passing on this ancient knowledge, they knew the sun was far more than that. They knew that the sun was, and is still, of course, an incredible generator of energy that is affecting life on Earth second by second.
Now, this is a symbol that explains so much about religion and many of the symbols you see in the modern world. Because of the focus on the sun in its various levels of importance and understanding, this symbol was devised in the ancient world to symbolize the passage of the sun through the year. They did the circle with the zodiac, zodiac coming from a Greek word meaning animal circle appropriately. They broke the circle into four, the seasons, with the cross, and they put the sun on the cross. I've heard that somewhere before. So, this is what this is, the Celtic cross. It's the circle and the cross, the symbol I've just had on the screen. This is NATO. NATO is a wholly owned subsidiary of this brotherhood, this group of bloodlines, the reptile-human bloodlines, the hybrids that run the planet. Again, this is the CIA symbol. Again, there's the cross with the sun on the cross. And this sun symbolism is something that you can read this brotherhood by. I came across this shot, or this symbol, in the City of London. Now, we'll get to this. The City of London is the operational epicenter of this global web of manipulation. And this is across the road from St. Paul's Cathedral. And again, you see the same symbolism, and on the center you've got the black sun. Now, the black sun symbolizes two things. It symbolizes the negative use of solar energy, and it also symbolizes something that's becoming more and more obvious, and people are becoming more aware of. And that's that it's not just the planets that go around the sun in the solar system. This solar system is also traveling around a central point. And that central point is known symbolically as the black sun, kind of a galactic center. And it takes 26,000 years for the solar system to go around that sun. And we are now in the process of completing one of those 26,000 year cycles, which is why the world is changing and is going to change dramatically in the next 15 years to 2012. So again, this symbol keeps coming up in the modern world as well as the ancient one. Now, Even in the design of cities, which this brotherhood has in the modern world controlled, you see exactly the same symbol. What you're looking at here is the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. Paris, like Washington and London, is a mass of esoteric symbolism and sacred geometry built by design into the street plan. And so what you have is the Arc de Triomphe with the circle around it. There's the center of the sun on the cross, if you like, and going off from there are 12 roads breaking up into the 12 segments, just like that symbol I showed you a few minutes ago. And this again is sun symbolism from the ancient world carried by this group. And even in the road, on the road plan around the Arc de Triomphe, you see the sun there making the point. But if you don't realize where all this is coming from, it just seems like kind of nice design. Again, up there, Order of the Knights Templar in the York Rite of Freemasonry. That symbol there with the cross and the crown is the way the symbol of the circle and the cross has been got into Christian churches without people realizing what it means. It's the same symbol, the cross and the circle.
Now, truth is not always a pleasant thing.
So, you must be the one. He told me you would come. My name is KTS5, but you may call me Victoria. If this is your first video from Know the Truth, then I recommend you start from part 1. To all his subscribers and friends, thank you. Now relax and enjoy the show.
careful, church, that we're not operating in mystery Babylon. What is mystery Babylon? It's hidden iniquity, it's hidden sin, it's hidden stuff that you can't see. It's stuff that we cover up. I'm not hearing nobody say nothing. Say nothing. If you can't say nothing, it's okay. The church is having a church experience, but we have not yet seen God.
Fame, fortune, and everything you desire, but in return, you gotta sell them your soul. This is not make-believe. This stuff is really happening in the music industry. Let me show you what Kanye West said at one of his concerts.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. I'm spaced out, dog. I be on that moon talk. I wonder if God asked Mike how to moonwalk.
Kanye West didn't just say that to be creative. He really sold his soul to the devil. You have to sell your soul to get to the level where he is. You got to do what they tell you to do. You got to act like they tell you to act. You got to dress like they tell you to dress because they own you. They become your God and you have to worship them. And when I say they and them, I'm talking about the Illuminati, the people who run the music industry, the people who run the whole entertainment industry for that matter. These people are Satan worshipers. They are directly connected to the devil, and by selling out to them, you automatically sell out to the devil. And that's why Michael Jackson called Tommy Mottola a devil.
And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
See, Michael Jackson grew up in the music industry, and he knew what it was all about. He sold his soul to the devil a long time ago. Now, most people will look at this picture and see a young boy making the OK sign with his hand. But this is not the OK sign. This is a satanic hand symbol that represents 666, the seal of Satan. The circle in the first finger is 1-6. The circle in the second finger is another 6. The circle in the last finger is another 6. So when you put them all together, you get 666. Like I said, Michael Jackson grew up in the music industry. He's been involved with the Illuminati since he was young. Now, if you don't believe this hand sign means anything, take a look at these other celebrities and see what they're doing in these pictures. Here you see Beyonce, a top-level witch, and we're going to deal with her next. But here you see Beyonce flashing the 666. Here's Drake, 666 over one eye. Neo, 666. Shakira, 666. Justin Timberlake, 666 over one eye. T-Pain, 666. Lil Wayne, 666 over one eye. Now look at this next one. This is Lady Gaga. Look at her right hand, 666. But notice the symbol that's in front of her. It's a pyramid with an eye inside of it. That eye is the eye of Horus. Now, Horus was one of the main gods that the Egyptians worshipped. That's why when you see this eye, you often see a pyramid with it, as you see here. This pyramid with the eye inside is the same symbol that Jay-Z always puts up. It's also the same symbol that's on the back of the dollar bill, because that's what this is all about, selling your soul to the devil just to make a dollar. Back in the day, Method Man said it best in the song.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
See, that's the mentality of these people. In the music industry, it's all about making money. Cash rules everything. All they think about is making money. These so-called celebrities are willing to do anything to be rich. Let's see what the scriptures say about that. Mark 8:36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? And that's what they do. They sell their soul to gain the world. Let's look at one more. This is 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So you got people so caught up in chasing money because they love it so much that they destroyed themselves in the process. Yeah, now they got money, now they rich, but they serve Satan. And it also said they pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Because you got people who got everything there is to have in the world, but they're miserable because they have no type of connection with the Most High. And that's part of what happened with Michael Jackson. He was spiritually lost. See, Mike knew all about the satanic movement in the music industry because he was a part of it, but he was getting tired of it. He wanted to get out of that part of the business a long time ago, but it ain't that easy once you get in. Mike even sung about being trapped in one of his songs called You Can't Win from the movie The Wiz. Listen closely to these lyrics.
And syncopate. You can't win. You can't make even, and you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like they're staying the same. You get in, way over your head, and you only got yourself to blame. You can win time, can't break even, can't get out of the game.
Now in that song, he also said you can't break even, but he tried to leave Sony at least owning half of it.
So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony.
Michael Jackson was frustrated and he got ahead of himself. He got cocky and he started to openly speak out against the Illuminati. He called Tommy Mottola a devil on national TV.
And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
Michael Jackson decided he was going to get out that deal no matter what. And the results of that decision were tragic.
The music just turns me on.
Now this demon on the screen is named Baphomet. He's the demon that's set up over the music industry. These celebrities worship Baphomet, and they show you all the time that they worship him, but you just don't notice it. Take a close look at this picture of Baphomet. Now look at what Beyonce is wearing in this picture. Here you have Beyonce wearing a Baphomet suit. She is deep into the Illuminati and Satan worship. She is a demoness. What does she call herself?
I'm not a diva. I'm not a diva. I'm not a diva. I'm not a diva.
She calls herself a diva. Diva is a Latin word that means goddess, which proves that she's presenting herself as a god. They believe that they have attained God status through their illuminated minds. Hence the name Illuminati, which means the enlightened ones. That's why the scripture said in Isaiah 47:10, thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Now another reason why Beyonce was chosen besides her talent is her beauty. The Illuminati through the media floods your mind with all these images of her, and then young girls and women want to dress and act just like her. Then you have young boys and men lusting after her. They use her voice and beauty as a form of witchcraft to seduce people and control them. But the scriptures warn us about that. Ecclesiasticus 9 verses 4 and 8. Verse 4. Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer, lest thou be taken with her attempts, meaning her temptations. Verse 8. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman. Verse 8 says, many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman. That's why you can't get caught up in the way these female celebrities look, because that's part of the witchcraft that they use to deceive you. A lot of these people have had nose jobs, lip jobs, butt jobs, breast jobs, hair extensions, fake eyelashes, and all types of stuff, all to create this perfect image, an idol for you to worship.
When you go shopping, watch TV, read a magazine, or walk through the city, how well do you pay attention to the assault of logos that invade your space? Have you noticed the same symbols that show up in thousands of logos? Or have you fallen into a media-induced slumber, accustomed to the assault? Humanity has been conditioned by symbolism, and today we are bombarded by logos. The average American is exposed to 600 commercial messages each day. Some symbols and messages we recognize, and some we don't. And what we don't understand can be used against us. And don't think that it stops there. Religious organizations, governments, astrologists, secret societies, non-profits, and health organizations clearly understand the effectiveness of symbolism to communicate a message. Political campaigns are using subliminals in their ad campaigns. The entertainment and gaming industries know that symbols have emotional power and they play on it. The question is, do you know?
Yes. It's in their signal, it's in their covers, it's in the music videos. Look at the backgrounds of many of the music videos. There's a video out with Pharrell and Snoop. There's a point where there's the bottom part of the Masonic compass and square. The square is on one side of the screen and the compass is on the other side. And if you know anything about just visual angles, you can see if you put those two together, which once again is the yin and the yang, it's the female and the male, it's the phallus and the other female portion, and those two artists being together creates the union. And it is so plain, I can only say to people who are awake. And for those who are, please, not only pay attention to this stuff, but understand that these artists, many of them, are put in positions, okay, where they have no choice. I don't want people to think that all the time that the artist always knows what he's doing. At times, these people have been just like highway robbery. When a police officer pulls you over, it is basically they're extorted. Okay, they're extorted. Many artists, they'll come up with a drug charge or a gun charge all of a sudden. If you want to be successful, you're either going to play your part or you're not going to be there. Period.
And do what you're told. Yeah.
And do what you're told. And at the end of the day, if you don't do what you're told, you're going to find you get pulled over with some drugs in your car, and you don't know how it got there, but all of a sudden you're up for charges.
The tradition of great performers and I really want you to hear what I have to say. The tradition of great performers from Sammy Davis Jr. to James Brown to Jackie Wilson. The story is usually the same, though. These guys work really hard at their craft, but the story ends the same. They usually are broken, torn, and usually just sad, and the story is very sad in the end because the companies take advantage of them. They really do. And, being the artist that I am, at Sony, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony. Several billion. And they really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing, and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them. Yeah! So, we can't let them get away with what they're trying to do, because now I'm a free agent. Yeah. I just owe Sony one more album. It's just a box set, really. I can do the box set, just give them any 2 songs. So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony. So I own half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it. But I just did good business, So the way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album.
Michael Jackson was murdered. That claim comes from his sister LaToya, seen here waving to fans from a car in Los Angeles. She says the King of Pop was effectively killed for his money. In interviews with Sunday newspapers, she says she believes her brother was surrounded by a manipulative entourage who fed him drugs and saw him as a cash cow. This so-called bad circle is said to have forced him to sign up for 50 concerts at London's O2 Arena, when in fact he only wanted to do 10. LaToya's also spoken of the moment when she found out about Michael Jackson's death. She was told to get to the UCLA Medical Center, but before she could, her mother was on the phone screaming, "He's dead."
Michael Jackson was murdered because he was no longer cooperating with the system.
I'm going back to the Matrix, and I want you to come with me. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. For your mind. You have to see it for yourself.
People everywhere have discovered that there's a bit more to the symbols around them. An unseen force steering the world, leaving its mark every place it touches. But if bound to material and reason alone, the logical mind immediately sees symbolism's big flaw. Take these, for instance. The countless pictures of politicians and various other celebrities throwing up what appear to be satanic gang signs. Now, if you think these pictures are all coincidence, I want you to turn off this video and go watch TV. Of course, this begs the question, surely the elite have better ways of identifying themselves to each other? Strategically speaking, hidden in plain sight doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why not lies in plain sight and leave the truth completely undocumented? Foolish, of course, but you can't own the world and be a bunch of fools, and you need more than cruelty to hijack the world. You need guidance. Their symbolism usually falls under one of two categories: predictive programming and hidden in plain sight. Predictive programming is a technique where people are exposed to a message that causes them to respond in a pre-programmed way to similar future events. Typically, there's a crisis, and that crisis, by the end of the movie, is resolved using certain means. When that event occurs in real life, the individual, although knowing this is real life as opposed to a movie, is inclined to respond similar to those who had been seen succeeding in the movie. You hear it all the time when somebody says, it's just like this movie or that movie, so it definitely has its effect. Then there's hidden in plain sight, the more mysterious of the two motives. Hidden in plain sight is more like taunting than a clever chess move. It involves putting symbols and messages out there, encrypted in such a way so that, if you're not looking for them, the meaning will fall below the threshold of your notice. The number of clues the Illuminati offer outsiders who know the hidden meaning of their symbols is needless, conspicuously needless. So, who stands to gain?
But here's another picture that's worth 1,000 words. It's a card from Steve Jackson's card game Illuminati, the Game of Conspiracy. The card's name is Unmasked, and the caption below reads, "There is a secret of our cabal that even you of the 12th Circle have not known until now." Take a look at some of the other cards in Steve Jackson's card game. This card game, whose final goal is world domination, was created by an admitted magician named Steve Jackson. In 1990, Steve Jackson's company was raided by the Secret Service, and 3 years later, he would create a website hosting company called Illuminati Online. In 1995, the card game was released, and later in 1999, George Bush's presidential campaign website was hosted by Steve Jackson's Illuminati Online. The game has hundreds of cards like this, and now that you have a taste of what those other cards must look like, ask yourself why Steve Jackson has a card for every person, method, technology, and organization the Illuminati have ever used, letting it all hang out with pyramids, all-seeing eyes, and 666 everywhere. And yet, this card means seemingly nothing, and yet claims to show one of their cabal's most deepest secrets. That's because it does, my friends. So much so that even in Steve Jackson's shameless card game, he remains vague, so that only those who should know the card's meaning do know the card's meaning.
From beginning to end, this deck reeks of insider info. The sheer outlandishness of some of the cards desensitizes those outside of the know, but a deeper look reveals that there's not a single card in the deck that hasn't happened, isn't happening, or won't happen. Most of the cards depict a sinister brand of humor mixed in with knowledge of a deep insider, but we can't rule out the paranormal in this case. Steve Jackson, the game's creator, dabbles in magic. As synchronicities go, the most puzzling involved the terrorist attack on 9/11. Now, statistically speaking, some of these have to be coincidences, but others violate the odds outright. Over and over again, 9/11 appeared in everything from movies to comic books. And what about the FBI's failed attempt in 1993 to bring down Tower 1? Why did none of the artists see that as the future? Why did they universally envision the top of the buildings being damaged rather than the bottom? Did they know the first attack would fail? Was it insider knowledge? Or was it something more? Surely the 9/11 inside job plan isn't as old as 1976. With symbols, the Illuminati piss on every tree they pass, so how could they conceal the plan for so long? And if they did conceal the plan for so long, why did they even bother bombing Tower 1 in 93 if they knew it would fail and the tower's eventual destruction involved damage to the top? In my opinion, these synchronicities stem from one of two sources.
There are two types of control. One you can see, touch, and taste: communism, fascism, dictatorship like apartheid in South Africa. You know that you're in a dictatorship. That has a finite life, because when people know the situation they're in and they can see their controllers, then the desire for human freedom, it may take some time, but that desire will eventually overturn that control. The greatest form of control is dictatorship you cannot see, the prison without the bars, as I call it, with the facade of freedom and this farce called democracy, which is ludicrously connected to the word freedom when it is anything but. And this covert control leads people to sit in a prison cell thinking they're free because they can't see the bars because they appear to be free. But appearance is all that it is.
People constantly ask me, and we're going to go to break here in a minute, about Illuminati. They see Jay-Z, all these rappers doing, all these weird Illuminati symbols and things like that. I know folks are going to pause that now and say, I was making those. I'm making those to show people. That's how they do that online. But the point is, you've exposed them. Bottom line, what's your take on that?
I mean, to me, it's definitely not a joke, man. There's a lot of real stuff going on out here in this world. Secret societies are real. It's definitely very obvious, that they're at work and it's at play in the music industry, in the food industry, politics. Everywhere you turn is everywhere. You just got to read the signs. You know what I mean? The writing on the wall, basically, is all in front of your face. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, once people just learn about it and do a little research about it all, they'll be able to see, like, oh, wow, I understand what's going on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You've got the floor. Lay it out. Break it down. I mean, this reported letter, when you were set up and sent to prison for exercising your Second Amendment rights, I mean, did you write this letter? And because it's very poignant, and, I agree with much of it. So you got the floor.
Yeah. I wrote a lot of letters while I was in there, man. I was doing this thing for Vibe magazine, just writing letters from prison, just expressing myself and things I wanted to get off my chest, things that were on my mind, and I wanted to let people know. And I wanted to show them, even though I was inside, locked in a prison, I wanted to show them that I still had no fear in my heart, about speaking my mind and letting people know what time it is. There's no reason for me to fear, because it's really nothing. There's nothing they can do besides kill me, and I'm not afraid of that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think right now they at the point where they would take it that far. I think this plan that they got into effect, and it's been in effect for hundreds of years or whatever, I think it's so embedded in people's brains now. They got people so brainwashed in this world that they don't even really care anymore. You know what I mean? About people like Alex Jones, people like Prodigy. Like, they're like, go ahead and tell the people all you want. We got these people so brainwashed, there's nothing you guys can do about it. That's how they feel. You know what I'm saying? And when I say they, I mean, you know, the power and the structures that's in place, you know, that's there to control us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, looking at it, well, it's twofold. 30, 40 years ago, if you talked about this, they would give you a fast-acting cancer. They would kill you. It's on record. Much of it's been declassified. But people still had courage and got the word out. And so because so many people spoke out, they've now flipped it and said, okay, we're growing the opium in Afghanistan. Okay, we're shipping the cocaine in. Okay, we're shipping the guns into Mexico to blame the Second Amendment. And so they've decided to just go with the revelation of the method instead, because they're desperate. But if we really try to shake people out of their trance, as you and others are doing across the board, we can beat them if we can get people out of the trance they're in.
Yeah, definitely. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I always say, like, God always wins at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Good always going to beat evil at the end of the day, man. No matter how bad it's looking, you know what I mean? No matter what's going on, you know what I mean? Good is always going to win. You know what I mean? But right now, you know what I mean? The devil definitely got the world in a headlock. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's definitely crazy. And it's at the point where they got it so far, like I said, they don't even care. They put it all in our face. You know what I mean? It's the information age. It's everywhere. It's all over the internet. What's going on? You know, it's all in these books. It's in movies. It's in, you know, it's all over the place. And they got people so brainwashed. You know what I mean? With all the you know, fashion and, you know, jewelry, especially like